Welcome everybody to episode 120 of the China Show, formerly known as ADV Podcast. Now, today we really do have a jam-packed episode for you. I know we normally say that.
No.
And it's true, but...
The most jam-packed.
The most jam-packed.
Yes.
Okay. There's a lot to talk about surrounding the whole Pelosi visit to Taiwan. For those of you who don't understand what that's all about, don't worry, we will explain. But we have a heck of a lot to talk about. And it's not just about a person visiting an island. This has really got to do with the whole trajectory China's headed in right now.
Yeah.
And it's funny, by the way. It's not all doom and gloom. There's a lot of hilarity in this episode.
One thing I do got to say, though, is that the way everything played out did not surprise either of us in the slightest. But it did make us laugh.
Yes.
So
remember last week, we actually, when we did our show, we showed how China has said again and again, you're playing with fire, you're crossing the line, don't do it, all this. And we called it. We said that it's not going to be any different. They're not going to do anything.
No, she's going to go.
Yeah.
And they will do nothing.
Yeah.
And what a surprise. They did nothing. And my favorite thing about this was possibly the response on pro-Chinese government media. Yes. And this includes like the people that defend the Chinese government in Western countries, right?
Yes.
And almost everyone ubiquitously said that she wouldn't go.
Yes.
Then she went.
She went.
And then they said the response is going to be, they're going to rain hellfire on America and America's over. They didn't do anything. Then their response was, wow, we admire Xi Jinping so much because he held so much restraint.
Yeah.
Oh my. The great copium war has begun.
Yes, it certainly has. The first ever copium war.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Anyway, guys.
You guys are here for history, really.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Of course, there have been proper responses, so to speak, and retaliation by China shooting a bunch of fish.
Can I say?
Yeah.
It's very important that I say this. You guys have to understand that in the first Great Copium War, which you guys are here for, the only belligerent is China.
Yes.
And the only casualties are fish.
Yes, fish and ocean sea life.
Yeah, ecology.
Yeah, ecology, really. But yeah, we'll get into that later. Let's saunter into what's new, and we're going to start out with a meme or two. What we have over here is just, like I said, a meme or two when it comes to the whole Taiwan-China situation. So for those of you who've been living under a rock or who are not in this sphere, China has been saber-rattling and blustering and threatening because, Nancy Pelosi, hate her or don't like her, doesn't matter, either one. You might like her too, sorry. But she's made this plan to go to Taiwan as part of her little travel around Asia-Pacific area. And China would have none of it. They're like, no, you may not take a high-level government official and go to Taiwan because Taiwan belongs to us and only we get to say who goes there. Of course, Taiwan is its own place with its own government and its own trade agreements and its own diplomatic relations with the United States outside of China. So it's not really up to China to decide who goes there and who doesn't go there.
No.
Okay? But, of course, they threw this fit and they were threatening if she lands, there will be major, or if she goes there, there will be huge repercussions.
Yeah, people were doing like flight trackers and be like, they're going to shoot her down.
Yeah, going to shoot her. We'll get into that a little more. But at the end of the day, she did land and nothing happened. So all the saber-rattling and all the nonsense about shooting her down or diverting her or, resolutely preventing her from doing it did nothing.
Hold on.
Yeah.
This meme, the reason I wanted to throw this on here is actually it was removed on political memes, the subreddit.
Oh, why?
And I don't know. And I actually, there's a lot of China memes that get removed from there.
Oh, it's just obviously the 50 Cent army.
Yeah.
Flagging things as being inappropriate.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
This was, I just wanted to point this out. This is hilarious.
Right.
So, the Shajupan scams, right? It's basically when you get one of those text messages that someone pretends to know you, they might use a wrong name, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, I have the wrong number, but now they got you on the line. Let's be friends, right?"
That type of thing.
Slowly get to know you, and then they try to get you to invest in crypto.
Yes.
It's usually like a pretty Asian woman, masquerading.
Yeah.
Right?
Fake pictures.
It's in one of these scam farms in Burma or in Cambodia. Anyway, long story short, this person got a Shajupan, a butchering pig scammer to try to get them.
Yep.
And it says, while Serpent ZA and Laudi 6 get fitness buffs leading them to the slaughter when they get Shaju Pond, my handler recommends drinking salad dressing. It says it's they make fake posts to build lore so that people believe in their social media. Oh, it's a real person, right?
Yeah.
I actually read this. Somebody I was on like a crypto subreddit or something.
Yeah.
And somebody wrote this like 10-page book about how like they got scammed by this.
Yeah.
But in the end, didn't like really admit that it was a scammer. It was more like it really sucks. I lost connection with her, but her uncle really made a lot of money. And
Sure.
I was like reading. I was like, oh my god. Anyway, one of these fake posts. It says, I really recommend this refreshing drink, and she's holding a bottle of salad dressing.
Salad dressing. Wow, that's interesting. Interesting, since the scammer I scammed is called salad.
I thought that was apt.
Yeah. Cool. All right. What else do we have in our little What's New segment? Oh, seeing that one again for some reason.
Rewind.
Okay. Now, the interesting thing, which we will show more of this later, is there were protests in Taiwan. Remember, Taiwan has freedom of speech, and it shows the very stark contrast between China and Taiwan. Is in Taiwan, you can, if you have a dissenting opinion or a differing opinion, I should say, you are allowed to go out and protest. So you had the vast majority of people welcoming Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan. You had crowds of people cheering as her plane landed. There were crowds of people clapping and cheering as she drove in and to meet her at her hotel. But you also had protests of the Unification Party, which is kind of this fringe party in Taiwan, that's very adamantly wants to rejoin with, I should keep saying rejoin, reunify. They were never unified. They were never joined. No. But they basically want Taiwan and China to become part of the same thing.
Now, one thing I have to say is both Chinese media and Western media hyper-focused on the protesters from the Unification Party.
Yes.
I want to throw some stats out real quick.
Go for it.
About 90% of people, Taiwanese citizens, don't support reunification with China.
Yeah, 90%.
So that's the vast majority, right? There's a lot of misinformation going around about that.
Yeah.
That's the truth, right? Yeah. And the remaining people aren't even necessarily part of the Unification Party.
No.
They're not even... The people that support unification don't even support unification under the CCP, right? It's maybe under a neutral government or something, right? The people in the Unification Party, by the way, 20,000 members out of 24 million people. It's meaningless.
It's a tiny percent. So these are the people that turned up.
But it's run by mainland China, and I have a whole story about that. But we actually got a correspondent on the ground to go to the protest and film it, and actually film the leader of the Unification Party's face. But anyway... During these protests, and we've seen this time and time again, when mainland China, I'm going to call this mainland China.
Sure.
When the CCP puts on protests, they oftentimes do a 差不多 job or a half-assed job.
Half-assed job, yeah.
In what we saw here, just like we saw in a lot of protests where they'll just hold up the same misspelled sign, we had this as well. We have Anger Warm Osi Pel.
Yes.
And that is trying to say warmonger Pelosi.
Yes.
But Anger Warm sounds awesome.
Yes.
I think that is the greatest foible and misspelling I've ever heard. And it wasn't just done once, it was on multiple signs, which I captured in the left photo.
We'll see. Like, if you look down next to me here, this purple sign here, can you see that? That also says Ongawarm OC Pel. And so does this one above us here, okay? This is the one that's been making the rounds. You've seen it. But look, there's one over there. And if you look up behind the blue sign, you'll see the blue sign. Behind it, you can see another Ongawarm OC Pel in the background. So they mass-produced a very badly misspelled sign to hand out to their supporters. And you know what this reminds me of is when they paid those Canadian teenagers to like stand outside the Huawei Meng trial and hold up random signs that they didn't know.
They told them they'd be in a music video.
Yeah, they were going to be extras in a music video, and they hired them, and they were holding like, free our Princess Meng or whatever.
Huawei is great.
Huawei. Yeah, so, this is just reeks of that. It's like, here, we're going to pay you some money, hold up this sign.
Yes.
And you don't know what it says, you don't know what it means, but okay, I'll do it.
Now, I think Angerworm either sounds like a Pokemon or a mythical beast. And we actually thought, you guys have been begging us for merch.
Yes.
What better merch to have than Angerworm merch?
Yeah, let's have Angerworm merch. In fact, we'll have a bit of a competition. We'll set it up after the show. Yeah. But on our subreddit, we'll set up a competition with a proper prize for whoever can draw the best design.
It might be a dragon.
Yeah.
It might be a Pokemon type thing. It might be words. The key feature, I think, it should be very simple and stark, right?
Yes.
It shouldn't be like a bunch of crap all over a
Sure.
shirt. It should be very simple design, or like a very eye-catching design.
Yeah.
So we want you guys to go over to our reddit.com/r/ADVChina. It's our subreddit. We will give a cash prize.
Yeah, we'll put all the details on there. We'll decide what's fair, the going rate for like a design or whatever,
like a couple $100, right?
Yeah, a couple $100 and something extra, and of course you'll be immortalized forever
on the merch,
and on the channel. So
Hunger Worm merch coming soon. You guys are going to be part of it.
Yeah,
can't wait.
No, it's going to be excellent. All right, so let's move on. There were a couple more.
Yeah, just sort of, I like these ones. American witch, get out of Taiwan, China, which no Taiwanese person would ever write.
No.
And I love that Taiwanese people, by the way, I'm doing this in air quotes.
Yeah.
With the PRC flag, like the People's Republic of China flag masks on.
I know.
Which, again, unification doesn't mean unification under the CCP. These are basically paid stooges.
Well, look, they could also just be Chinese people that are there doing business
in Taiwan,
or they're on a holiday or whatever the case, or they're there because of family, who knows. But
we found out from the actual video of I figured this would happen, that the Global Times and Chinese government would amplify like how big these protests are, and we got him to film it.
Yeah, they're small.
They're tiny. There's like a dozen people, maybe 20-something people.
Of course, I mean, also look at that sign which says "Get out to ruble."
2 ruble. Well, they're trading in Russian rubles, I see.
Maybe
2 rubles.
So we've got a lot of spelling mistakes.
2 ruble maker. She only made 2 rubles. Poor Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, she made 2 rubles. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, there's another. There's the same sign. Get out 2 ruble maker. Now, guys, again, what you have to realize is that when you see scenes like this, notice it's the same people from the previous shot.
Yep.
And biased media will always focus on a small group like this to make it seem like it's huge, but there's probably 20 people doing it, right? Yeah. And these 20 people, suddenly they'll put it around the world. Look at these huge protests. It's nonsense, right?
Well, I mean, like I said, the Unification Party in Taiwan has a self-claimed, by the way, 20,000 members. So it's
probably
much less.
Yeah. So it's fringe nonsense.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's talk about this keyboard warrior.
I love this picture.
Yeah, this is a funny picture. I'll get us out of there to see. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll translate this.
Okay.
So you can put us in it. I don't
right.
think we're blocking anything.
No.
I'm just reading it here. So this is a guy that posted something on a group of about 10 people. 10
yes, in a
people.
WeChat group.
WeChat group, something like that. And what he said was he's going to go to the American embassy, right?
Yeah.
And he's going to protest the Pelosi visit because everyone in China was told that the Pelosi visit was the end of diplomatic relations between China and America.
Yeah. Everyone was told that you should protest.
We're going to shoot down our plane. We're going to, we hate America. We're going to war and we need to back the CCP, right?
Yeah.
So he did this and he got arrested.
He got arrested for posting this.
He got arrested in China for being anti-American and trying to organize a protest at the American embassy.
Therein lies the key.
Yeah.
Because look, as we will see shortly when we hit Soft Power Hour, we're going to show you a bunch of clips of what people were doing because you were encouraged to go online and shout out to dissatisfaction about
Bomb America.
It's like, don't you dare come here, Pelosi. We'll kill you or we'll beat you or whatever. That kind of nonsense. You can do that every day and every night. But if you say, I'm going to organize a protest, if you use those words in China, I'm going to organize a protest, that's it for you, man.
Yes.
You're not allowed to organize protests in China. You're not allowed to organize a gathering.
No.
That's where he screwed up. So he actually got a midnight visit from the police and was taken to drink tea, as they call it.
Yeah. You have to 喝茶, which means drink tea. It means go to a police station.
And literally, by the way, they do make you drink tea.
Yeah.
When I've been called into the police station,
I had to drink tea.
You have to
I
drink
didn't
tea.
have to, but they put it in front of me.
They put down the tea.
In one of those,
you
that when those plastic cups, those clear plastic cups get too warm and they just kind of collapse and they like burn your fingers.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's always shit like green tea. Like bad quality green tea, and cigarettes are passed around. Anyway, what I'd like to say about this are some key features. Now, as funny as lol cow worthy as this is, right? there's a couple key features about what happened here. Number one, he claimed it was just a joke anyway.
Sure,
right?
he wasn't going to go.
No, he wasn't gonna go, as he says in his post. Number two, my favorite thing about this is that he couldn't even say American embassy in Chinese.
Yeah,
right?
in this post.
In this post, right? Because it might trigger another police response, right?
So what did he say instead?
So he called it an American small museum, and it's just because it sounds
Instead of
different.
Dashi
Instead of
Guan.
Dashi Guan is Xiao,
Yeah.
and it's different characters, right?
Yeah.
So he used plays on words so he doesn't get triggered. And also, you can't say Taiwan, right?
Yeah.
You can't say Taiwan in certain contexts on the Chinese internet. So he had to call it that island.
That
right?
island.
That other island.
Yes.
Right? So there's a lot of like cryptology that people have to use to even support the government in China.
Yeah.
Because they censor everything.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I just love that he got arrested for trying to do the right thing according to the Chinese government.
So while we were preparing for this, we kind of came up with a bit of a joke here.
Yeah.
Okay. As we all know, China's been firing a bunch of missiles. So we made a little joke. It's more like missiles because, they're not hitting anything. We're going to get into this later, of course, because it's pretty hilarious what they've done here and very irresponsible and stupid at the same time.
Yes.
But again, in What's New, we have to keep telling you what's new in China, not just with regards to the whole Pelosi visit. Well,
You mean the Angerwarm OC
yes,
bill?
the Angerwarm visit. There's a thing here, right, with China and Japan. Now, we
Yes.
all know that in China, you are supposed to hate Japan. That's just what you're taught.
That's correct.
You're not allowed to praise Japan. You're not allowed to really big up anything in Japan. But there is an issue because most young people love Japanese animation and Japanese comics, manga, anime, that kind of thing. It's a big part of growing up in China. And the reason for this being that there are no good homegrown Chinese cartoons or Chinese
No, it's bad.
manga.
It's
because
really bad.
First of all, it's very stifled because you cannot be creative and you're
Censor
not allowed.
boards.
Yeah, there's many things you cannot do, you cannot talk about. And then the homegrown ones, which are getting better, admittedly, I've seen them get better. They're just a poor, watered-down copy of the Japanese stuff anyway.
Yeah, there's no fresh ideas is
Yeah.
the problem, right? So
Yeah.
if it was its own thing, that would be great, but it's copying and making things worse, right?
So the thing is, the young people still love it.
Yeah.
They still want to have their anime conventions and their, manga, like a Comic-Con type situation in China. But the only way that they can do that these days is if they blast out patriotic Communist Party rhetoric, make it all about praising the party, and then they can do some cosplay and sing some songs or whatever.
By the way,
Yeah.
not all anime is allowed.
No, of course not.
I just want people to know it's a certain, ones that are allowed, and then they're also censored.
They're censored to hell.
Even though you can't even pay for them, they're just uploaded to like illegal websites where they're streaming them anyway. You're gonna get censored versions in China.
Of course
Now,
you do.
what this says, it says carry forward China's anime and manga cultural industry. Now, what you need to understand about this is that is the kind of jargon and language you'd find on any sort of presentation or expo, right?
Yeah.
And it would be there'd have to be a propaganda slogan. So you have these two, I don't know, cat girls or whatever the hell's going on, up on a stage.
Yes.
Right? And these girls are in Japanese anime cosplay. I can't tell; it's too small what they're dressing as. But in the back of them, they have a huge hammer and sickle.
It's so depressing. That
slogans.
particular slogan, that design language, I'm so sick of it.
Yeah.
It looks very bad.
Yes.
It's not very well put. It's not even good looking. It's it's like a cheap CG 3D hammer and sickle that looks like it's from
the gold 3D
Yeah, it
one.
looks like it's from 1993 or something like that.
Like
you know?
it'd spin on the bottom of a web page.
Yes.
And you'd click sign the guest book.
Yes,
and
that's
then you'd
what it
check
looks
you're
like.
number 126th visitor to the website on GeoCities.
Exactly. Then it's got like the slogan crap, and it's very uniform. You find this for everything. It's not different. So it really ruins the aesthetic that they're trying to go for.
Right. On the right here, this is just one of my favorites. This happened a couple years ago.
Let's play it quickly. Okay, can you explain what this fine young gentleman is singing?
This is Renai Circulation. It's an anime song. Very popular.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know anime, you might have heard it other places. It's just in memes and stuff usually.
Right.
But He is a school-aged boy
Yeah.
doing a talent show.
It's a primary school.
Yeah, it could be middle school.
Yeah, sorry, middle
it's
school,
middle
not primary
school,
school. I get it mixed together. We don't have a middle school
okay,
where I'm
yeah.
from. You get primary school, then you get high school.
Gotcha. We have elementary school, middle school, and high school. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, he's probably middle school age, and he is singing Red Eye Circulation in Japanese.
Yes.
So an anime song in Japanese in front of the hammer and sickle on a stage as people look in awe. Because the ball's on this guy.
Sure.
The ball's on this kid to stand in front of the party symbol and sing the little Japan's devilish songs, you know?
Yeah.
We'll play him out.
Yeah, okay. I'll
Give
play
him the spotlight.
Okay.
I like these girls in the front.
What are they doing?
They're like, I don't know about this.
Well, to be fair, he doesn't sing very well.
It's supposed to be like a little girl singing, so
Yes.
he's trying to do like a cute voice.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, the guy's, hey, it says there's no sound. There's sound? What are you talking about?
Absolutely, there's sound.
Yeah.
Oh, no, there isn't sound. They're right. There is no sound.
What are you talking about?
There's no sound. I gotta fix it. Give me a second. Sorry, guys.
Oh my goodness, I'll keep everyone.
Yeah, I'll sort that out.
Sorry, thank God we caught it in the first clip because there's a lot of sound.
Oh, there's a lot of
episode.
freaking sound.
Muted by the CCP.
Okay, let's try again.
But we're a bunch of boomers. We don't even know.
No.
You guys hear it now?
No.
I'll entertain everyone. Will Smith slapping Xi Jinping. Thank you very much. ADV is the deep state of the China show.
Right.
Then amplifying your channels as much as possible. Stay awesome and keep following protocol. Thanks. Cairo, waiting for the China show with an anxious heart. Kind of like that statue minus the poop in the bowl.
I love it.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
The Hand of Jolly Jen, thank you very much. Do you ever think that Xi Jinping over feathers it? I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means either.
Sias, the West needs to stop pretending and officially recognize Taiwan as an independent country. We just need some mad lad of a country to go for it. Lithuania, maybe. Yeah, they could be the ones that start the revolution. Did you figure it out?
Certainly good. Not yet. Yeah, read a couple more. Sorry, I'm getting there.
No worries. Roman Ray says, I think that this whole recent situation with a Chinese missile exercise in Taiwan and a naval incursion going on might be a distraction from geopolitical turmoil similar to the Falkland War. I mean, it's also a distraction just from
China's problems,
but also a distraction from the fact that America said, okay, we're still going.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Now you can hear it.
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con. It is. It's Comic-Con. Nice.
Props to Comic-Con boy, though.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it's got to be really difficult to be an otaku or a weeb in China right now.
Yeah.
It's it's tough. It's tough. Anyway, to move on from Comic-Con, remember we spoke about that funny auntie that did these weird things. You found another one.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, people have been just sharing them because, like, they looked her up on Douyin or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just, she does it for you guys that weren't here for the IE episode. We're talking about, like, middle-aged women in China. They love to use, like, face filters and put themselves in flowers and all kinds of, like, really bad photo editing tricks.
Yeah. This one takes it to the next level, though. She puts herself in these videos.
Yeah, she does. She calls it video synthesis, and she always has to tell you if it's a humorous video. She'll label it as such.
Well, this one is labeled as humorous and funny video synthesis.
So this is her on the body of a woman in a dress.
Well,
French dress or something.
She's going, yeah, exactly, and then she's flying into this pregnant woman's stomach.
Yeah.
It's just everything about that. Everything about that
is fantastic. I just want people to see that unadulterated.
I mean, I feel like you think it's fantastic. I can't stand it.
The ear abuse.
Yes.
The ear abuse that you get from the weird albino babies or something that come out. I think she put like those beauty filters on them to make them white.
Yeah, definitely.
You know how they do that?
Yeah, for sure. Oh man.
Anyway, it's
now,
great.
Before we hit our soft power hour, which by the way is going to be a good one, you gotta
Like
see
the Aurora.
This. Yeah, it's just like the Aurora.
Probably the best soft power hour we've ever made.
Well, this will be the pride of the Chinese military rather than the pride of the
If you
Canadian
ever wanted
military.
a compilation critique of the Chinese military,
yes,
you've come to the right place today.
Yeah.
But
first we have to speak about our sponsor. What do you got to say?
Today's video is brought to you by Cultivate. What is Cultivate? It's a browser extension bringing transparency to customers as they shop on Amazon by showing them the brand, seller, product, and origin, while showing them local stores that they can buy and pick up from the same day and even cheaper than the original price. Support local community efforts, local workers, local brick and mortar stores while getting cheaper prices. So we actually love this company.
Yeah, let me explain. When you're buying things on Amazon and you're browsing, and let's just say you're searching for a table, okay?
Yeah.
And you type in table, Amazon always promotes what's kind of cheapest for them first, okay? That's what you find out. The Amazon choice, or even before that, they'll promote something. And you'll get a company that might be called something like, I don't know, they call themselves... They're very
XQPR.
Yes, sometimes it's very obvious that it's a Chinese company, like it'll be called Gold Lion 12 or something. But often, though, these days they're quite clever. They'll call themselves something else, like it'll be called a Pittsburgh. You know, like when you buy from like Harbor Freight, it's always called like Pittsburgh this and that, but it's a Chinese brand. But they put these names on them to throw you off, to think you're buying a locally made product, or it'll have a German sounding name or something. Cultivate actually cuts through the BS, so to speak, and it will look through all the API data, and it tells you where the seller is from, and it tells you where the product and the brand is from. So it'll tell you straight away it's a Chinese brand, or it's an American brand, or it's a German brand. So you can choose more wisely.
And the reason is actually there's more than 50% of brands and sellers on Amazon are Chinese, right? And that's an issue if you're looking to diversify supply chains and things like that. And you actually want to find quality products that are you're not being duped by some knockoff, right? So actually I put together this little demo here. So for example, if you're looking for a vacuum cleaner, right?
So as you do, you're looking for a vacuum cleaner.
Right? So you click this vacuum cleaner here, cordless vacuum cleaner stick, and it says, pause it there. It says it's VOIC, lightweight handheld vac, powerful suction for hard floor carpet. That's quite the title, by the way.
I would by that time know that it's Chinese just by the write-up.
Right, but just click play.
Okay.
You can know for sure, right? Because it was interspersed amongst other ones, right?
Yes.
It says sellers from China, and guess what? You can get alternatives. They'll tell you places you can buy alternatives, right?
Yes.
So here that said Ace Hardware has one, and not only does Ace Hardware have one, they have it for pickup today.
Okay.
So instead of waiting for a Chinese vacuum, right? You can buy the name brand one and then go pick it up the same day in that store. Okay. The other thing that Cultivate does, which is great, is you can pause it. Yeah. You see how it says save $6, earn $1.05, or earn $1. You get to pick a charity that will donate to your charity of choice, and every time you buy a product, it'll actually take a percentage of that and then put it into your charity, and it builds up with points. Right.
Okay, so you can feel better about yourself while you're shopping.
Exactly.
I will buy something of capitalist excess and enjoy it, and at the same time I can feel better about myself because some charity will benefit.
Hey, and that's a good thing if you're going to buy it anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're doing charity. The more you use Cultivate, the more you earn in donations by increasing your level, all the way to us donating 51% of the revenue that we make on your purchase, truly making you a bigger partner of the community than us. So that's what Cultivate does. They can go all the way up to 51% donations.
Excellent.
With the profit. So most importantly, what you guys need to know is that it's completely free.
Yep.
It's a browser add-on. It's safe, by the way.
Yeah, we've been using it.
We've been using it. We know the people that run the company.
Yeah, they reached out to us.
They reached out to us, and we've been in contact. So go down below in the description, completely free browser extension. Yeah. The link is there. Please use that link, or it's in the pinned comment if you're watching live. And go check out Cultivate. Thank you very much.
Capitalize. How do you, like, if you want to, I don't know, get involved in capitalism, what is the correct word?
It's time to capitalize.
That's what you do?
Sure, why not?
Captain Capitalism. Well, there's a lot of capping going on.
What we could probably do is get into the main segment.
Yeah, we probably can. All right, guys. So it's time for us to hit Soft Power Hour. This is our segment where we talk about how China is trying to change your mind through various different ways. And of course, this time we're talking about this whole crazy Taiwan situation. So we're going to walk you through it properly. It started out when China got wind of the fact that Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, pretty high up in the government here in America, she's third in line for presidency or something like that. When they found out that she would be coming along and possibly visiting Taiwan, they went into overdrive to try and prevent this from happening. Okay, because this is the thing. The Chinese government does not understand that there's a separation of powers within the American government.
I think a lot of people don't understand this, but I think most importantly, you'd think that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in China, whose task is to understand their biggest adversary, America, in and out, up and down, left and right, doesn't understand the most fundamental aspects of how the U.S. is run.
Sure.
It's incredibly embarrassing.
So like the United States president, who everyone knows at this point is the guy who falls off the bicycles and sniffs hair and stuff, Biden, all right? Love him or hate him, he's the president. But he doesn't have the power to say to Nancy Pelosi, who's a member of the government, you can't do this, you can do that.
Separation of powers.
That's what makes the American government really great, in my opinion, is you don't have a dictator type figure that can just really do whatever they want. So unlike China, where pretty much everything that is done by the Chinese government is only done because Xi Jinping says it's okay to be done. And they cannot step out of line. And if they do something that Xi Jinping doesn't like, they will be punished severely.
Right.
Simple, right? So they think that by Nancy Pelosi going to Taiwan, that the entire US government was like planning this, and that the president was like, yes, you must do this. And the whole country was like, yes, we are now telling you to do it. It doesn't work that way. Anyway, they don't understand that. And it's very obvious by their rhetoric. So she says, this is the Chinese foreign spokesperson, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. She said, if the US insists on following the wrong course of action, then it should be responsible for any serious consequences arising thereof. Okay, and this was the kind of rhetoric you were starting to see. It was going crazy. A lot of chest thumping. We saw here, for instance, we have China's state-affiliated media making a very bad call, saying, I'm calling it Pelosi will not visit Taiwan. Why? Well, apart from other obvious reasons, she will be flying a U.S. military aircraft. The U.S. cannot fly a military aircraft into Chinese airspace. Yes, including Taiwan, without permission. It would be a suicide mission. Okay. Chinese state-affiliated media, you were wrong.
Ain't no bonsai.
No. Yeah, sorry, mate. Anyway, so then Nancy Pelosi was used in all these political cartoons.
Hold on. Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
This is Chinese state media, and recently we still have to make good on this and do an episode about Chinese state media political cartoons.
Correct.
I don't think they understand what humor is.
No.
Because they try to make cartoons for this, or even propaganda pieces that are supposed to have humor in them, and try to jam as many like kind of entendres or different like associations that you're supposed to get that either don't make sense in that context or are not funny at all.
Yeah.
So we have her jumping out with a suicide bomb, saying it's a suicide mission, right?
Yeah.
But the Chinese government is the one that didn't act on it.
Yeah.
So the political cartoon is actually a self-own.
Yeah.
They just slapped themselves in the face.
Well, this came out obviously before.
Yeah, but they should know what they're going to do, right?
Yeah, well, they don't. That's the thing. At the end of the day, the entire government apparatus, they just run on what they're told.
Yeah.
So, the top level is saying, like, we will resolutely, there will be consequences. This is the worst thing. If you try to come here, there will be massive consequences. You cross our red line, you're playing with fire. So then they just run with it, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what they're being told.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, what I think everyone watching, because we have a lot of people watching, you might not know this if you're new. When you have the Chinese government, if you have any sort of filter media that speaks on behalf of it, so state media, which is all media in China, by the way, they get orders from the top, right?
Yeah.
There's no speculation in state media. You don't open the China Daily and have opinion articles from people in the government that have wrong takes, because their take only can come from the top.
Yes.
There's not like, I think that President Xi will do this and this and this.
No.
Because there is no speculation.
Yeah.
The top tells people what they can and should talk about. Right?
Correct.
It's all state run, 100% state run. There's no private media.
So, we're not going to sit and describe each one of these cartoons you see behind us, but
Catering to Russians.
yeah, exactly. The state media cartoons that were coming out of China were just, ridiculous. It's all showing the very unflattering pictures of Pelosi and dragons, the Chinese dragon grabbing her. We're going to get her. She's walking into a suicide, that kind of thing, right?
Can I say something real quick? I think that the response from China, I think the Chinese government really made their own media believe that she wouldn't go because they threatened so much.
Yeah.
We'll go to war with America.
That's why so many people were like, oh, well, she will never go.
She'll never go.
And there was a lot of speculation. Well, the Chinese people were like, we're too strong. If she tries to come here, then there'll be serious consequences. So America's not going to do it.
Yeah, look at state media Hu Xijin.
Now, Hu Xijin, you have to understand, he's retired state media, but he still holds a massive opinion audience, you should say. Yeah. Something like that. But people still respect his opinion. He's a big commentator, especially on international relations.
On behalf of the Chinese
he used
government.
to be the chief editor of the Global Times, which is the English language newspaper from the CCP, which is just the most childish publication.
If you ever want to laugh.
Yeah, exactly. So he said, and this is a tweet he put out, if U.S. fighter jets escort Pelosi's plane into Taiwan, it is invasion. The PLA has the right to forcibly dispel Pelosi's plane and the U.S. fighter jets, including firing warning shots and making tactical movement obstruction. If ineffective, then shoot them down. So he actually put out a tweet saying that they should shoot down Pelosi's plane.
Somebody that worked for state media that currently still has massive ties to the state mouthpiece and would get censored if he made a bad call, by the way.
Yeah.
Said that they should shoot down Pelosi's plane, and it counts as a wartime invasion.
Yes.
What happened?
Twitter deleted his tweet.
Oh, interesting.
And then he cried about freedom of speech, which I think is the stupidest thing.
He made a threat to kill a government official.
And they removed that tweet.
Oh, what a surprise. That might be against terms of service.
Because it is. And then he cried about Twitter stifling freedom of speech.
Wait a second. Twitter is banned in China.
Banned in China.
It's illegal to use Twitter in China.
It's the stupidest thing ever because if you want to talk about stifling freedom of speech, China is the country, second only to North Korea.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Rewind.
Yeah.
So a Chinese government state mouthpiece complained to Twitter about removing his tweet.
Yes.
Right? About killing an American government official.
Yes.
Right? Because it's against freedom of speech, even though he's from a country whose government he can't criticize. No one can legally use Twitter in China. And they took it down, and he's whining and not telling his own government to unblock Twitter.
Yeah.
Yes. Just a recap.
Look, it's actually kind of hilarious because he put these horrible... I should have actually put a translation up for these tweets. I'll release it on our subreddit later. But he put up these horrible posts, which he got some pretty interesting responses on the Chinese Weibo, because he put these horrible posts about
Weibo's Chinese
Twitter, because Twitter blocked that thing. And a lot of people were answering why is it that you can use Twitter and I can't? That kind of stuff.
Poking the bear.
Yeah, so it was pretty bad. Anyway.
Oh yeah, look, only Chinese government officials are allowed to use Twitter. The citizens are not.
No, not allowed to. Here's the thing though. Now, because this is still, Pelosi hasn't landed yet.
Yeah.
So China decides it's going to release tons of...
In this timeline, she has landed. We're alive.
Yeah. No, but she hadn't landed yet.
Yeah,
so the Chinese government starts putting out all these military videos. So we're going to show you one here. So
these are great.
Yeah, you're going to see, they wanted to show China's military might as a deterrent to prevent her from landing.
Yeah, this was I think, just for timeline, for people to understand, this is China's attempt to stop her from coming.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to show you one of these very intimidating videos that they put out. So here, just take a look at this quickly. You know, I just wanted to...
American old lady.
Yes, before we get into these threats. So the PLA put out that very slick...
People's Liberation Army.
Yeah, the People's Liberation Army put out that very slick video that I just showed you. Yes, I did add the Benny Hill soundtrack to that because it is just ridiculous. They put that out as an intimidation tactic, which obviously didn't work very well. And then you started to also see, like I said, this kind of state-sanctioned stuff where people were just posting online, just like they did that whole screw you Pompeo, shut up Pompeo, whatever thing. They started doing that. So we'll just show you a couple of those quickly over here if you want to take a look.
By the way, pause that real quick.
Yeah.
For all you listeners out there, there's retired PLA, which are saying that, inviting Pelosi.
Come Pelosi, we'll fight a war.
We'll fight a war.
Yeah, we'll fight a war.
This guy is saying, if you come to the motherland, Taiwan, by the way, he's not in Taiwan. I want everyone to know this is a mainland Chinese in mainland China.
Yes.
Not in Taiwan, but he's calling Taiwan China's motherland.
He's never been to Taiwan. He'll never go.
He'll never go there. Anyway, he's threatening her with bricks.
He says, be careful, I will kill you with brick. That's literally what he says. Okay, so let's see what he does.
I'm sure she's shaking in her boots. She must be so scared.
Well, here's the thing.
That brick looked like shit.
Let's just say,
by the way.
Yeah, it did. Let's just say that she did, by mistake, land in mainland China by mistake.
Yeah.
And went to rural Hunan or wherever the hell this guy is.
Yeah.
And found him. Then maybe he'd have to worry. She'd have to worry. No, he'd have to worry, actually.
I think he'd have to.
Because if he hit her with a brick and that brick just breaks like that, you know.
I don't think the response will be diplomatic.
But yeah, he said, come, I'll brick you to death. Okay, well, you better watch out for brickmen over there.
He's all bricked up.
Let's see what else we got here.
Pelosi, 你给我听着，我们中国14亿人口，不允许你来我们中国，我们也不欢迎你来了，我就给点备弹，准备。
This is a whip woman.
Yeah.
Oh man, whip woman's going for it. Pelosi's, dude, she must have been super worried when she saw this. I heard that this is the video that made her almost reconsider.
Yeah.
Was the whip. Who wants to get whipped?
Yeah, for those of you who can't see this, you're listening to the audio. You've got a middle-aged auntie here, an IE, and one of the hobbies that you find older people in China doing is this whip thing where they turn around and like they get a whip and they
kind of cool.
Crack a whip. Yeah, it is cool.
It's cool when they whip the big wooden tops.
Yes.
That's like pretty precise skill.
It's not cool when she does it though.
No.
She actually looks like a wooden top that needs to be whipped. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't she just look like that? She's like this.
She's got the shape of a
rotund-looking thing. Anyway, the fact of the matter is she's threatening Pelosi, but then it starts to take a little bit of a darker turn. I suppose a darker turn. It's still ridiculous.
It's still like what is happening?
Xiamen is a city right on the coast that's opposite to Taiwan. Yeah. Okay, you can see Taiwan pretty much. Yeah, see the islands from Xiamen. It's in Fujian province, and it's a place that I've been myself personally.
Me too, yeah. It's a nice city.
And there's like that little island you can go to just off of it where they copy a lot of the Taiwanese snacks and things.
Yeah.
But it's a cool place. Now the PLA thought, of course, they're in a very precarious position here because they know they can't do anything.
No.
Okay? The Chinese government actually knows that if they were to shoot down Pelosi's plane or take military action against her, that would be the biggest mistake of their entire careers.
You know, when Xi Jinping told Biden on the phone, he said, if you don't send anyone to Taiwan, don't get involved with Taiwan or you'll be playing with fire. America is the fire.
Yes.
That's the fire that they're talking
about.
Yes.
Yeah, they would be playing with fire. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, they know they can't do anything, but at the same time, because they've been so blustery about it and been putting out all these PLA war, propaganda things and telling the entire Chinese populace that we will, strike down the evil USA if it tries to do this.
Yeah.
They need to do something domestically to kind of placate the masses.
Yeah.
Kind of make up for the fact that they know they're not going to do anything. So what they did was they rolled a bunch of tanks, amphibious tanks, by the way, which are not capable of going in the sea all the way to Taiwan, for those of you who are wondering. They can't actually drive these tanks to Taiwan. They took them on the beach, but just a normal beach with people that are in their bathing suits trying to enjoy a day at the beach.
You imagine, can you pause it right there?
Yeah.
There's kids.
Children.
Swimming in the ocean.
Yeah.
In unannounced, some amphibious PLA tanks roll up onto a beach. They don't do it, by the way, on like a staging point where they would actually go try to do an attempted invasion. They do it on a public beach where people go and bring their families.
It's for PR.
How unbelievably, like, I don't even know the word. It's like just a shitty thing to do.
It's irresponsible because it's putting everyone in danger.
Right.
You don't know if a little child's going to fall down on the sand
and get
stuck.
squished.
If you look, it's a very long procession of these tanks.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to drag them along the beach other than to show the local populace that, hey, look, we're powerful and we're taking this seriously. And if they try anything, we've got all these tanks here.
I actually think that they told the people here, or assumed that they would believe that those amphibious tanks will be used to invade Taiwan.
Yes.
Like all they have to do is hang a right.
Yes.
And head into that ocean right there. I really think that's what the impression was.
Yeah. Those piece of shits will capsize if they even try go off the coast for like a mile. They won't even make a mile. They won't even make 300 meters into that water.
They're such dorks.
Yeah.
That's just such a dork thing to do.
And I mean, they suddenly like moved their entire PLA. By the way, this would have been a fantastic, if anyone's a military strategist, this would have been a fantastic time to go and attack China somewhere else, because they've moved their entire military to Xiamen for this as a show of force.
Yeah, this would be like a ripe time.
Yeah. Like right now, Xi Jinping's unguarded because all his tanks are down in Xiamen.
And all of the fuel is being wasted,
Yes,
and all of the ammunition is being wasted. You know what China is? Can you pause right there? This is a perfect representation. China is right now. China, or I should say the Chinese government.
Yeah, the Chinese government.
Is the kid that owns a sword. He has a sword.
Right.
He wears like tactical trench coats.
Yes.
And he has a sword at home. Yeah. And he brings it to school one day, and he kind of like shows people like around the lunch table. By the way, he sits alone.
Sure.
But he goes around to people's lunch tables and he shows people his sword. That's what the Chinese government is.
Probably is something like that.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate guys with swords, though.
Sure.
You never know.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they can do dumb things.
Yeah. Anyway, you can see these are those same amphibious tanks that are just being transported to the beach in order to be driven in amongst the civilians. You can see them all down there. So this was all for show. And again, it was a deterrent.
Yeah.
They wanted everybody to know. They wanted the international community to know that, look, we are stockpiling our armored vehicles here. We're bringing in tanks, which I think everybody in the world knows that tanks are not going to help you if you want to cross the sea.
It's the most kind of like, I feel like that's what people think of war or invasion, and then their mind goes to tank. So that's why they do it. Like you said, it's just a show of force.
Yeah, because those tanks can't swim across the sea.
No, let's keep destroying all the newly built roads, by the way, with the tank treads.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, again, China state-affiliated media making bad calls over here.
Okay, so the first thing he said, by the way, I'd like to point this out. He said, I'm calling it now, Pelosi won't visit.
Yes.
His follow-up tweet here, Chinese state-affiliated media says, okay, folks, I think it's happening. The warmongers, I think he meant Unger worms?
Yeah, the Unger worms, yeah.
The warmongers of the Oval Office are doing it again, only this time things will be different.
Yeah, sorry.
State media call again, round 2.
Yeah.
Oh, but doesn't he have another one?
Yeah, he does.
Another call?
Yeah.
What's the third call?
Said, I would say about 5 more minutes until Pelosi's plane enters Chinese airspace. She doesn't have much fuel to play around with. So if there's any action taken to force her off course by the PLA, she will have to decide fast and divert. So in other words, he's like, oh, you better move now. You better not.
You're getting close.
Not. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
That's not what happened. Oh, the same Chinese state-affiliated media by mistake tracked a private propeller plane and thought it was hers, and like, why is it moving so erratically? She must be scared.
It was
type thing.
somebody's prop plane.
Yeah, it was a propeller plane. Same. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, the result was, as we all know, Nancy Pelosi's plane landed.
Turns out that sword was flaccid.
Completely unmolested.
Yeah.
There were no interception planes sent up. No fighters were scrambled.
Bricked up dude had no bricks.
No, the guy didn't come with his bricks, and the auntie didn't come with her whip.
No.
So she landed.
The sword was a flaccid
Now,
noodle.
by the way, as soon as those wheels touched down, it was like a cry of millions of people.
It was like, in what is it, Obi-Wan? He says,
Yes.
Suddenly I heard millions of voices cry out and then were
silence,
silenced.
suddenly silence. It's pretty much what happened.
That's what happened, except it never silent.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So this was a massive loss of face for China.
Yeah.
Think about all this buildup of military rhetoric.
Yes. Oh
Because
my gosh.
It shows you that there's no fear of that stuff. It's all for show.
Yeah.
Because look, that's what they were trying to do, was to scare Nancy Pelosi away.
Yes.
That was the entire point of them showing all these PLA stupid videos of them shooting their missiles and flying their jets and all this stuff. And then they have all these like buildup of military tanks, and they
It's red alert.
Yeah, they brought in like ICBMs, on trucks. So that like intercontinental ballistic missiles.
Yeah.
They brought them in. They brought in the big missiles and everything. And Nancy Pelosi was like, nah. And by the way, you can hear people clapping in the background because everyone was very happy that she came.
Well, the majority.
Yeah, except for that tiny little group of protesters, which was a small percentage.
Yeah.
You have to understand, in fact, we didn't include a clip, but there's a clip when her plane landed. Everyone was cheering and clapping, and you know what I mean? It was a jovial moment. It was
Our correspondent on the ground said that the vast majority of people were super pumped.
Yeah, absolutely they were. And of course, the Taipei 101, which was at some point the largest or tallest building in the world. In fact, we both were in Taiwan when it was still the tallest building in the world.
I lived there when it was, yeah.
Yeah,
it was like a big pride thing.
Yeah, it was on the visa. When I got my first visa.
The same, yeah.
It said like, tallest building. It had pictures of it and stuff. Anyway, they put up signs on there saying, "We welcome Speaker Pelosi and Taiwan loves the U.S."
That was pretty heartwarming to see that. Yeah. I like that.
Meanwhile, in mainland China, they put out the air raid sirens.
Yeah. This is it, guys. This is what they're saying. This is it, guys.
Yeah.
We're doing it. We're going for it. World War III.
Remember, they have to placate the locals.
Yeah.
Because if they did nothing, they'd look foolish.
Well, to be fair, I think it was worse. You'll see. You'll see.
Yeah. I like how it's just normal, though. Like, see, traffic's just doing their thing. Like,
all right.
whatever, shut up.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, so what happened with state media? What did they say?
Well, it's Chinese state-affiliated media said, despite stern warnings from China, Pelosi has landed in Taiwan. There will be serious ramifications, that's for sure. But those ramifications will come in the form of trade and other measures. This is the new start for China. This is a new start for China. The world has now seen the peace-loving China I know. So you see, they changed the narrative from, you dare come here, we will shoot you down,
we'll kill you.
To we are so restrained and peace-loving, you see. Yeah. We didn't fire on Pelosi.
I told you, the great copium war has begun because they got everyone so riled up, boy who cried wolf style, that they said, we're going to go to war with America.
Yeah, everyone was expecting that if Pelosi came, the Chinese government would finally live up to its promises, which it never does when it comes to Taiwan. Anyway, sorry.
Bunch of underworms, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. Oh, he deleted the original.
Yeah, he did delete a bunch of his tweets. So then the other stuff started to happen. So let's just play out, and we'll explain what's going on.
This is after Pelosi arrived.
Just after Pelosi arrived.
This is China's reaction.
So this is some of the things of social media.
just want to explain real quick. There was a trend that went
Yes.
around on Weibo and
Yeah.
Douyin and Kuaishou. These are like China's TikTok type apps.
Yeah.
And people were slapping themselves
Yeah.
because they were showing how disappointed they were in China for not shooting down Pelosi.
Yeah, they lost face.
Yeah, they lost face, so they slapped themselves. And this is genuine, by the
Yeah,
way.
they
It's not
were.
a joke.
No, people were so disappointed. People were throwing hissy fits, jumping up and down, screaming,
Yeah.
crying.
Yeah.
You know, like that they're so humiliated to
Yeah.
death. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll play.
I just wanted to explain the slap where the
Yeah,
slapping
why
thing.
people
It
are
was
slapping
losing
themselves.
face,
Yeah, because they're losing face and they're very disappointed. So
I love that became a trend.
such a stupid
face
trend.
slap.
This guy's.
Oh, this
classic.
guy went for the chair.
Yeah, he's throwing chairs around.
WWE style.
She got off the plane. What's how? Hiya, she got off the plane. What's how? This guy's like, well, I'll just punch myself.
This guy went for the punch.
Yeah.
This was how the Great Copium War started to wind down.
Yeah. Anyway, just thought that this guy.
You represented it pretty well.
I just feel like we need to pay him a little bit of respect here because,
You showed some emotion.
yeah, he hit himself a lot.
Yeah.
So
The thing is, as funny as it is to make fun of these people,
yeah,
I mean, at the end, we're really not doing that. What we're making
Yeah.
fun of is the fact that people are putting their faith in this authoritarian dictatorship that's second pretty much only to North Korea at this point.
yes,
That's allowing them to hate so much
Yeah.
and be so excited for death and destruction and war,
Yeah.
right? While calling the U.S. a warmonger in
Yes.
this scenario, which is absolutely hypocritical. And then they get so upset when their government doesn't do anything about it.
that they have to hit themselves.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's really sad. It's a sad state of affairs that the Chinese government has put its people in.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right with the whole buildup of this hatred.
You know what it is? It's like this. It's like, we want you guys to be so mad at the rest of the world because that's the cause of all our problems.
Yes.
And we want you to be hyper nationalistic, almost to the point where you're just violent in your heart. You have hatred seething through your heart, right?
Yeah.
But don't go out and do anything about it.
Yes.
Don't protest or actually try to make anything happen. It's like, go be bad, but not that way.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of terrible.
Yeah.
For the people there. Also, I want to point out something. When it comes to warmongering and saber-rattling and escalating, the only people that have been doing anything of the sort is China.
Yeah.
Okay, the Chinese government. Nancy Pelosi said, we're going to go visit because we want to show our support for Taiwan.
Which we
you know,
always have.
Yeah, diplomatic
There's nothing
ties, democracies, lands a plane, goes there, shakes hands, receives some awards, goes and goes to the Human Rights Museum.
Yeah.
That's something
That
China
made
hates.
real
They don't
mad.
want human rights, okay? No.
They hate human rights.
Yes, they were
a
like,
lot.
that was probably the worst part of her
Yeah,
trip.
more like human wrongs.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, she landed, she did a couple of things, and then she buggered off. That's all.
And is this China? Is this the first time someone from the government has visited Taiwan? No. But
No.
they chose this time to be the time to just go absolutely crazy.
Some of you might not know this, but the Speaker of the House previously visited Taiwan too.
Yeah, this isn't new.
No, it's just another visit.
Like the State Department said, there's no reason for Beijing to make this an issue.
Yeah.
It's not a new issue.
Yeah.
We've always had diplomatic support for Taiwan.
Yeah.
It's nothing new.
And these poor guys that are hitting themselves, they're only doing it because Beijing whipped them up into a frenzy.
Yeah, and they thought the frenzy would be warranted when they stopped Pelosi from going.
Yeah, they honestly did think that all of their hatred and piss and vinegar and all the shit
Yeah.
that they're putting out there would have stopped Pelosi from going.
It's a spectacular own goal.
Yeah, it didn't. And it is an own goal when your own citizens are hitting themselves.
Yeah. And it's
Out of
it's
disappointment.
unfortunate. And it's pathetic and sad.
It
I
is.
feel bad for the brainwashed people at that level that got so emotionally upset.
Yeah.
Because like if you're putting that much faith into a government that doesn't give a shit about you, it must hurt.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Anyway, this poor guy, at least he took his glasses off before he started to punch himself.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see
I
what
like
else.
his performance though.
Yeah,
He
me
was-
too.
He put a lot of heart.
Oh, this is kind of important.
Yeah.
Rolling out a banner that says, we protest against Pelosi's visit to Taiwan, government in action, the omen of national subjugation.
So this is funny.
Yeah.
This is not allowed. You're
No.
not allowed to protest in China, right? Unless it's against another country, and then you get it approved by the government.
Yeah,
They shut it down. So this was shut down.
obviously.
They are protesting on behalf of the government to support the government
Yes.
by saying that they didn't do anything and they should have taken down Pelosi.
Yeah, it's insane.
People are disappointed.
Yeah, of course. So anyway, of course,
This is important.
now we're going to show you what China did next, because for like a day or two after Pelosi had landed, all that there was this like, I don't know, helpless feeling within the Chinese people that, you know, their government sucks and doesn't do anything and doesn't live up to its promises.
They're
And
slapping themselves.
yeah, slapping them. We've lost face. They're crying. They're angry. They're rolling around on the ground. So the Chinese government's like, okay, well, we've got to do
Gotta
something.
do something, right? So just in case you guys just tuned in,
Yeah.
first they said Pelosi don't come. They got the military all riled up, everyone riled up. They said we're gonna scare her off.
Yeah.
She lands. People freak out. They're mad disappointed. Government now has to do something to explain.
Yes.
This is what it is.
Let's take a look, everybody. This is important. It's the most important part of the show, so please pay attention.
我命令全军各级要强化练兵备战鲜明导向，坚定不移把军事训练摆在战略位置，作为中心工作，抓住不放，抓出成效。要坚持领导带头，以上率下。 坚持实战实训，连战连训，坚持按纲施训，从严治训。
Yeah, so
Operation Fish Kill was
Operation
a success.
Fish Kill.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Can you put the map up of the actual?
yeah, let me. I'll find
So we
that
can
quickly so
explain.
then we can explain what's going on there.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
As you know, that
Yeah.
was completely fabricated and a
Well,
parody.
in a way.
In a way, yeah.
Actually, no, that was real footage.
Yeah, but that was an old speech from Xi Jinping.
Yeah,
We
not the
put fake
speech, yeah, we put-
subtitles on it.
Basically,
I just don't want people to go out there and start saying this is what was said. You'd have to be pretty.
No, don't worry
you
about
know, Yeah, have issues to think that.
What
but-
China then did was like, okay, well, now we're going to have live fire exercises around Taiwan. Now, the reason they're doing this is because, again, they can't do anything. They're not allowed to. If they actually shot into Taiwan, that would just start a war.
the war.
Okay, so they can't do that. They can't shoot at Nancy Pelosi's plane, so they wait for her to go because they have to make sure she's nowhere nearby before they start this stuff, just in case they
Yes.
make a mistake, right?
Yes.
So now she's gone, and they're like, what do? We got to do something. I know, let's teach them a lesson. Let's shoot a bunch of missiles into the sea.
Billions of dollars worth of ammunition.
So they're just like, we're going to do these live fire exercises. Now, what they did is they did it in the form of like almost like a blockade, because they are interfering with international shipping routes and flights and things like that. Because now you can't, drive like sail a boat through those live fire exercises places, because it'll get shot, right?
Yeah.
You can't fly a plane through there because it's dangerous. So now everyone has to divert around these inconveniences that the Chinese government has put up there.
Operation Missiles.
Yeah, missiles, yeah. Now basically what they're doing is shooting missiles into the sea.
Justice for the fish.
Yes, I know.
I'm pissed off because they're ruining the coral. They're killing all the fish.
Yes, it's
all the
ridiculous.
octopuses.
I know, all of this stuff. Anyway, it's ridiculous. So they're just trying to like divert away from their failure here, okay? Because they failed to prevent Nancy Pelosi from arriving in Taiwan,
Right.
okay? So they have to be like, look at us blasting missiles, because don't pay attention to the actual failure that we had.
Right.
Okay. So Operation Fish Kill, or Operation Miss Isles, commenced. And of course, you saw a lot of support from the Chinese government. And it's, you know what? It's been quite freaking annoying, to be honest. Like flies.
Shoo!
The Chinese government mouthpieces have been releasing, and I'm not even joking, like they've been tweeting like every couple of minutes. The US must now face consequences.
It's almost
this and that.
like they're literally sitting there at gunpoint in the corner of a room, and they're like, another tweet, another one.
Yeah, they
do
have
it.
to. And they keep following the same nonsense narratives.
It's and they're all like copy-paste. But you guys have to understand a little context if you're new here. Mm-hmm. This is called Wolf Warrior diplomacy.
Yes, Wolf Warrior.
China used to play this Mr. Nice Guy, hang out in the background, accept investment. We're going to go do our own thing as long as you don't push us too hard, blah, blah, blah. And then Xi Jinping, the dictator-in-chief now, he created Wolf Warrior diplomacy. He thought, no, China's ready. We're going to start being a-holes.
Yeah.
We're going to send our diplomats out on Twitter and enforce.
Yes.
Go on TV and just be so mean and awful and very rude to the rest of the world and so unappealing.
Yes.
Right? To the point where it's just like mosquitoes buzzing
I know,
around.
it's
Because
so
these guys
annoying.
aren't supposed to be on Twitter. They block Twitter.
Yeah.
They block Facebook. They block YouTube, yet they pump out all of their bullshit propaganda just buzzing around everyone. Just shoo already.
I know, they're so annoying.
So especially with this, they had to, I guess at gunpoint, sit there and just go out there and just be a-holes about this whole Taiwan thing, because they don't know what else to do. They have to do something.
I included a couple of tweets so you guys could get a handle on what's going on here, like Zhang Heqing here, by the way, who is a party official.
He follows me on Twitter. It scares the crap out of me.
He says, PLA Eastern Theater Command Rocket Force launched multiple types of conventional missiles into several designated sea regions of east of Taiwan, accurately hitting targets. To which I replied, to be fair, it's really difficult to miss the sea. Which
justice for the fish.
Yeah, I know.
Can we get some justice for the fish? It's like they don't care about them.
So this is like just from today even. What is today? August? No, it's 2 days ago. So Hua Chunying, which is the foreign spokeswoman, said through multiple channels and at various levels, China has repeatedly made it clear, firm opposition to Pelosi's visit to Taiwan, but the U.S. side apparently refused to take the message seriously. And I replied to her, which I honestly feel, have you ever thought that perhaps you shouldn't be taken seriously? That you need to earn respect rather than simply demanding it? And also, please give it a rest.
You didn't stick up for the fish in that tweet.
Oh, this is before the fish thing started to take off. Yeah. And Zhang Meifang, who's another official, said you can't wake a person who pretends to sleep. This is what Pelosi told us about the U.S. Her action reveals the hypocrisy and ugly face of some U.S. officials, also mirrors their intentions to interfere in the internal affairs of other countries disguised as human rights. And I said, you can't stop a Chinese official about moaning about Pelosi. It's just, this is all they could do. Moan and complain and bitch and threaten. And this is when they'd started their thing. Breaking large-scale PLA live-fire drills surrounding Taiwan Island in 6 zones have started. No vessels or aircraft allowed to enter. So I said, please, waste a lot of fuel and ammo attacking those fish in the sea.
Justice for the fish.
It's funny how much you hate the ocean.
They hate it. They keep launching all these bullets and missiles into the sea.
They do.
The poor sea and fish.
Qinggang is like...
You know, You know Finding Nemo? They found Nemo with a missile.
Yeah, with a missile.
Bastards.
Anyway, Wang Yi said Speaker Pelosi's visit to China's Taiwan region is an out-and-out farce. The inevitable historical trend of Taiwan's return to the motherland cannot be changed. Those who offend China will surely be punished. So I said, especially the fish in the sea. We will shoot the shit out of the fish using missiles. That'll teach Taiwan.
Yes.
I mean,
poor fish.
You got to make light of this because all they're doing is shooting the sea.
I know, dude. I actually thought another good merch to support this situation, to support Taiwan in this situation, is whatever Taiwan's most iconic fish is, like ocean fish.
Yeah,
you should just get a T-shirt of that to bring awareness.
Yeah,
justice for them. Seriously though, they're just destroying the ocean.
Yeah. Again, Hua Chunying, government spokesperson. We will not tolerate moves to incite tensions, confrontation, and separatism in this region. The host of measures China is taking and will take are necessary countermeasures that are defensive in nature, which have gone through serious consideration and careful assessment. I said, especially fish. You sure are teaching all those separatist fish in the sea that you'll murder them with missiles if someone you don't like visits Taiwan. Teach those fish a lesson. You know what I mean?
Poor fish.
These poor fish. Again, they can
didn't choose this.
No, you can honestly, you can bluster all you want. I mean, this goes on. She's like, China has repeatedly stressed its firm opposition to separatism and aimed at Taiwan independence and foreign interference. China will allow no room for any form of Taiwan independence forces.
Hold on. No one declared independence here.
No, this is the thing. The only people that are talking about independence and separatism is China. Pelosi landed to talk to the diplomatic talks, the usual thing. Because she said China has repeatedly stressed. I replied, repeatedly being the key word here. Can you please be quiet for just a few hours? It's like a dog yapping over and over, trying to get attention and just annoying people that are just trying to get work done. No one is escalating anything other than you.
It's absolutely correct.
That's what they're doing.
And I love they use the word defense. Right?
Yes.
Defending the motherland, defending Taiwan, defending this from Western aggressors. Why are they using offensive weapons? Then?
Yes, why are they firing missiles into the sea at fish? Zhang Heqing, again, President Xi Jinping said, no one should underestimate the great resolve, the strong will, and the extraordinary ability of the Chinese people to defend their sovereignty and territorial integrity.
You notice how the Chinese leadership does this a lot, is they use the people as a shield.
They use their own people as a shield.
Don't throw Chinese people under the bus for this. They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
They didn't get to make this decision. Xi Jinping can't even say himself that he says this.
No.
It's the Chinese people said this. He has to use them as... He's even said this in so much words. If you have to get to me, you have to bash your heads bloody against 1.4 billion Chinese people.
Yeah, it's all about use the people as a shield. You're right. I replied to that by saying, if by that you mean your resolve was to kill a bunch of fish in the sea, then mission accomplished.
Operation Fish Kill is absolutely a resounding success.
Yep. We cannot allow the hashtag US to take itself as a world policeman and treat other countries as hashtag George Floyd, whom it can bully and strangle at will.
What is that? What relevance does that have to do with Taiwan's visit by Pelosi?
This is the Chinese government trying to use cancel culture against this whole nonsense against the US, which it doesn't work. No. So I said, and you'll stop the hashtag US by murdering fish and shooting at the ocean in what is probably the biggest tantrum, like a baby throwing its toys out of the cot. Hilarious. Yeah. That's the thing. How is shooting a bunch of missiles at fish, got anything to do with George Floyd?
You didn't get Taiwan back, and you didn't stop racial tensions.
Yes. So you can see that all the officials are tweeting out the same kind of stuff. It's slightly different wording, but it's basically quoting Xi Jinping about sovereignty and stuff. And again, I just commented, but if by defend your sovereignty you mean we will shoot the fish with missiles, then mission accomplished. This is they're claiming a victory somehow by shooting all these missiles into the sea. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what it really boils down to, is they've really just gone off the rails. And then they lie. Okay? They frickin' lie, as they always do, which is the most ridiculous thing ever. Chinese state media has been putting out articles claiming, and let me read this to you, from Xinhua, China Daily. Let's see. I'll bring it up here so it's more clear. They put out a headline: the international community supports China in taking all necessary measures to counter U.S. provocation. What international community is she talking about?
I don't know.
Are they talking about?
I don't know, but I think they're really floundering.
Nice. Yeah. Quite honestly, though.
Yeah, this is the bullshit thing,
Yeah.
right? This is where it just gets to just levels of lies and self-deception that lead to things like people slapping themselves in the face because they thought that Pelosi was going to get shot down.
Yes.
This is where you get to self-deception to the level of you need to be checked into a mental facility because it's just pure lies, and I don't see how anyone with a semblance of understanding of the situation could believe it, because I've seen the state media did this over and over again. They also got their little filter feeders out there, like their white American people to go, suck on the Jiba, the CCP, and go put out propaganda by saying things like the majority of the world is against this visit by Pelosi and doesn't want Taiwan independence. And doesn't want any sort of diplomatic ties with Taiwan. The whole world.
Yes.
And even Taiwanese people themselves, the vast majority of them don't support this at all.
Which is all lies, of course.
It's the
opposite. It's the opposite. They also said that the U.S. government doesn't support this visit.
Yeah.
Yes.
They
really
said no.
Yeah. So they were trying to make out as if the Nancy Pelosi was this rogue troublemaker that was coming there to cause troubles and all that. Of course, now it's changed to America's just causing troubles. But the fact of the matter, just like you said, the Chinese government was telling their own people and also trying to pretend to the rest of the world as if the entire world did not want this to happen.
Yeah, it was a good out, though. Yeah. Because what they can do now is say that, well, the U.S. government told her not to go, and most people don't support it, so it was a moot point. They can kind of back out of it a little bit.
Yeah, but they're not backing out.
No, I'm saying they do give
in.
themselves a convenient out.
They do. It's kind of ridiculous what they're doing. Is they're now, after shooting all these live fire drills, which are still going on, by the way, and I think they're only going to finish on the 7th. So I think we've got two more days of this. So we'll see what other nonsense. By the way, they mistakenly shot 5 missiles into the Japanese, exclusive economic zone. That's not a good idea, China. Do you really, really want Japan to get involved in this? Do you really, really want that? Think about it. Think to your history.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Don't do it. Don't do it. You're playing with fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Japan has so many international agreements.
Yeah, and also you can try to claim Taiwan as your own, place as much as you think that's true. I'd say the rational world outside knows that Taiwan is its own entity with its own government and its own democracy and everything. Whatever. Argue all you want. But Japan is not anything to do with you, okay? Yeah. Don't be shooting missiles into Japan's waters and stuff. Don't do that. That's a very bad idea. Yeah. So anyway, they're doing this. They're firing all these missiles and calling it a success. Have you seen the rhetoric that's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, it was
they're
a great
like,
success.
oh, now you face the consequences.
Great
you will
success.
see how our resolve to, deal with all this. It's insane. And then lying about it by saying the international community supports it.
It's kind of like, you know what it is? It's like you win the lottery, right? Yeah. Or no, you tell everyone around you that you won the lottery, right? And everyone's like clamoring. They're like sucking up to you. They're like, we love you so much. And then you think you won the lottery, and you take out a bunch of loans to placate people, and to placate yourself, and take out a bunch of loans because you're going to get the money anyway, right? The money's coming in. You get a boat, you get a mansion, you get all these things. And it turns out you didn't win the lottery, right? And then the chickens come to roost, and you have to declare bankruptcy, and your entire life is upturned. Yeah. But at the end of it, you say, this was good for me. It taught me that, I should really treat money dearly and just be more careful in the future. Sure. It's the biggest copium hit I've ever seen.
It's ridiculous what they're doing.
It's like they took a gravity bong and went for a straight copium hit for like 10 seconds. You know?
Yeah, it's pathetic. Now, I wanted to contrast the diplomacy coming out of Taiwan, okay? While China is threatening and blustering and being this disgusting, horrible, rude, for lack of a better word, nation at the moment. Okay, not only
from the government,
diplomatically and from what you see online, because that's what's encouraged. Okay, So they're being very rude and low class and disgusting. From Taiwan, we're seeing the complete opposite. Now, for those of you who don't know about history, Taiwan was formed due to a civil war between the nationalists and the communists. The communists took over mainland China, and Mao Zedong destroyed all of Chinese culture with his great leap backwards and cultural devolution. He tore down temples, he burnt manuscripts, he punished intellectuals and sent them off to work camps or just outright had them murdered. Okay, he tried to strip the language, he tried to get rid of the Chinese script, and he made simplified Chinese script. He actually wanted to put Roman characters.
Romanize,
He wanted to, but actually the Soviets convinced him to keep a little bit of Chinese history.
Bit of Chinese history, because you need an identity, it turns out.
So he completely destroyed all culture in the mainland China, and it shows. It shows with the diplomacy, because the Chinese people that actually fled to Taiwan and built their own country there, they kept the traditions of China, they kept the religions, they kept everything intact, the original writing, and obviously the civility, because ancient Chinese culture is very rich and full of history and civilization.
China has a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. Mainland China, unfortunately, it's all been destroyed. But that culture has survived in Taiwan, and it comes through in their diplomacy as well. You know, Tsai Ing-wen, who is the democratically elected president of Taiwan, who speaks English very well, tweeted out, "Delighted to host Speaker Pelosi and the U.S. House delegation to Taiwan, along with leaders from our government and tech sector. Thank you for your principled support for closer bilateral ties founded on our shared values of democracy, freedom, and respect for human rights."
How nice is that?
Yeah. Now that is diplomacy.
Yes.
Not this we will smash the imperialist bullshit that you see coming out of China.
No.
It's really like looking at a redneck hillbilly that grew up in a swamp compared to somebody who studied in Oxford University and who's, incredibly, well-spoken,
and polite.
Comparing the two together. So this is a real soft power win for Taiwan, by the way.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the world can see how Taiwan is civilized and China is not. Yeah. And really it boils down to that, uncivil. If you look at their diplomacy, their wolf warrior crap.
They're threatening the world.
Yeah.
With death.
So Tsai Ing-wen released a video called My Fellow Citizens, Good Evening, to where she reassured the populace that what China's doing right now is dangerous, and they call for an end to this, and basically just that we will keep a close eye on this. We're not looking to escalate anything. I'm just paraphrasing here, but she basically was very calm, level-headed, and is dealing with it like a proper leader should.
Yes.
All right. And was released. It has English subtitles. I did share it on Twitter if you're interested. Mm-hmm. If you want to see a shit show, you can follow me on Twitter. I unfortunately do spend far too much time on Twitter, but it's usually just taking the piss out of the Chinese officials and so on. So anyway, so I just wanted to put that in there to contrast the difference. Now, there have been some other repercussions that China has now done other than shooting a bunch of fish. And the funniest one of them all is that they've now sanctioned Nancy Pelosi and her family.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. So I'm just speculating here. I think Nancy Pelosi is probably just crying so hard right now. It just must suck so bad that you can't invest in some of that prime real estate that has never seen such growth.
Yeah.
That the Chinese real estate investments have shown recently.
Yeah.
I would really think it's a great time to buy into Evergrande. Oh, wait a second.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe some of the other property companies are faring better. So it's a shame that Nancy Pelosi won't be able to have a piece of the the CCP pie. It just sucks. You know
what this proves, though?
What?
Is that Taiwan is not a part of China, because Nancy Pelosi can go back to Taiwan whenever she wants.
Yeah, so now that, the whole point is that a U.S. government official is not allowed to go to Taiwan because it violates the one China policy dictated by Beijing, right?
Right.
But now that they've cut her off,
well, she's not allowed to go to mainland China.
That's what I'm saying. They've cut her off. She's not allowed to go to mainland China. That opens her up to just go to Taiwan whenever she wants.
Yeah.
What a shame.
So again, it proves that Taiwan is not a part of mainland China, because Pelosi can go to Taiwan but she's sanctioned and she can't go to Beijing or China.
This
whatever.
is kind of like a goal, and this is their own goal, and they've managed to kick.
Yeah,
the
they
ball
managed to
into
kick it
that
in there.
again.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's so dumb. It's really
well.
bad.
Well.
So, they have done a bunch of other. There've been a bunch of other repercussions. We have a list, don't we? Do you have a list here?
I do.
Okay, let's read the list. This is the firm actions that China has taken, other than shoot fish.
Yeah, other than that was the key.
That was their
mission.
biggest thing, is Operation Fish Kill Missiles.
Yes. So I have some commentary on some of the things they did here. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs announces countermeasures in response to Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. Let's see what happened.
Yeah.
In disregard of China's strong opposition and serious representations, Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives Nancy Pelosi visited China's Taiwan region. That's the first error. Sovereign nation of Taiwan. No one's going to take you seriously when they read your post now.
Yeah.
On August 5th, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced the following countermeasures in response. You ready?
Yeah.
This is what China's going to do. By the way, it's nothing to do with bombing the U.S. and invading America in response. Number 1, canceling China-U.S. theater commanders talk.
Okay.
Okay. Number 2, canceling China-U.S. defense policy coordination talks.
Okay.
Number 3, canceling China-U.S. military maritime consultative agreement meetings. I'm sure a lot was getting done at those.
Yep.
Number
It's good. Keep isolating yourself,
Yeah, just
China. Keep isolating.
keep
You don't want to
digging that
talk? Yeah,
trench.
go for it. What's next?
You're going to end up being buried in it. Suspending China-U.S. cooperation on the repatriation of illegal immigrants.
Well, that's something only China wants. Okay, here let's work on this here.
Yeah.
How many illegal immigrants are repatriated to America from China?
Let's put that at single digits.
If that. Like maybe 3 in the
Let's
last
put
20
that at
years.
low single digits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe like 3.
Let's just say maybe 3.
Maybe 3. Maybe 0.
Maybe 0.
You know,
Maybe 1.
You know, China wants this agreement because they use it to get the criminals, or they call them criminals, who flee to America. So when you've got a corrupt official,
Yep.
and he runs to America with all of his ill-gotten bribe money that he's stolen from the Chinese government, and he's funneled it into America, and he's run off to America. China comes and cries to the American government to say, he is a criminal, send him back. And America sends them back.
I'm well versed in this topic.
Yeah,
I spent probably a month talking to people about this.
Yeah.
And I did a whole video. It's called Operation Fox Hunt. And
Correct.
this is China's official designation of what they do. Now, what they do is, like you said it up really well when you said a corrupt government official will go want to launder their money in America.
Yeah.
Right? They do this because they've gotten it through ill-gotten gains in China. And the problem is that's fine. That's how almost every single person in the government operates.
Correct.
That being said, if you are not on the right side or in the right alliance with Xi Jinping, then you best get your money out of there and your life out of there and your kids and all that kind of stuff. Because what you can do is set up a life and a future for your family if you kind of rub that administration the wrong way, or if you're sucking up to the wrong people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they created Operation Fox Hunt to get those financial criminals back, and they kind of seduced the U.S. government into talks to allow this to happen. It was when relations were better with China.
Yes.
Number 1, and number 2, they said it would be to catch financial criminals that are trying to hide in the U.S. Right? Not necessarily has anything to do with the government.
Sure.
Financial criminals, maybe they did insider trading.
Sure.
Maybe they actually defrauded American companies.
Yeah.
Right. So this great cooperation was Operation Fox Hunt. American government, you can help us find financial criminals and send them back to the U.S. or back to China, right?
Yeah.
While they had those meetings in the offices where they sat down and talked, they had secret agents from the Chinese government in the U.S.
That came along with the delegation.
To find those political officials and those financial criminals to actually kidnap them, basically, and then send them back, right?
Yeah.
And they still use Operation Fox Hunt to find dissidents. It's not financial criminals anymore. It's political dissidents that speak out against the Chinese government. They have their fingers all over, their tentacles all over the world, looking for anyone that spoke poorly of the Chinese government. And that's what it expanded into.
Yeah. So also, let's face it, Chinese illegal immigration to other countries is big.
Yes.
There are lots of illegal immigrants all over the world from China.
Right.
So what is China's end goal? Are they trying to say like, well, we'll just flood you with illegal immigrants and we won't accept them back? That's another side of this, really.
I guess.
It doesn't matter, China.
Yeah.
You obviously don't give a shit about your people. We've seen that. You've made it clear.
Yeah.
All right. So that's not an agreement that I think anyone's going to cry over being broken. What else is on the list?
Number 5 is suspending China-U.S. cooperation on legal assistance in criminal matters.
Well, there we
So
go.
it
That's
goes
the
to
whole
same
fox
man.
hunt thing.
That's fox hunt.
It doesn't matter because there are not many cases where, in fact, there's no cases where the U.S. has said, this person in China has hacked us here, send him over for a trial.
I mean, well, they attempt.
It's
for
never
sure.
ever resulted in
No.
China saying we will capitulate.
It's always attempted.
But the other way around,
Yes.
China has demanded the extradition or the help to track down
Yes.
Chinese criminals in the U.S.
Over and over and over.
So again, there, China loses out. It's a one-sided thing. What's next?
Suspending China-U.S. cooperation against transnational crimes. The poster child in the federal government for transnational crimes is China, by the way.
Yeah.
The transnational criminal kings
Yes.
are the Chinese government. So it's hilarious that the talks will be stopped. Oh no, let's suspend talks with the criminal.
Yeah, I know. So again, nothing lost there. What's next?
Suspending China-U.S. counter-narcotics cooperation. So the country that facilitates
Where's all the
narcotics.
fentanyl coming from?
Are you kidding me? I mean, that's just like, that's some clown stuff.
It's clown. So again, nothing lost there. Anything else?
The last one is suspending U.S.-China talks on climate change. And this is my favorite. So if you don't know this already, China puts out more carbon than any developed country combined.
No, and
Right.
developing countries.
And developing countries.
All
Okay.
combined.
All combined,
Yeah.
right? One country does this.
Yeah.
You say, okay, it's a big population. China has also won itself so many contracts and prizes and awards for its furthering efforts in green technology into reducing carbon output. Yet, China's carbon output increases every year. USA decreases. Other countries decrease their carbon outputs if they're part of these agreements.
Yeah.
China increased their
Yes.
carbon outputs.
Yeah.
Added coal plants. They added more coal plants this year, right? They furthered their carbon output. And then, to top it off, they're going to say that we're going to back out of these talks. We want to hurt the world even more. The world will face the punishment of your crime for sending Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan.
Yeah, the world will now suffer more ecological damage
Yes.
by our hands.
Yes. So we don't have to even abide to the bullshit lie stuff we already made
Yeah,
up.
they just lie anyway, so there's no
doesn't
point.
matter.
Again, there's nothing lost there. So that was their list of things that they wanted to do. Well done, China. You really taught the world a lesson. Not. All you did was lose face on a monumental scale. You proved to your own populace that you're bluster and words and nothing else. And you proved to those imperialist, separatist fish that you will shoot them with missiles next time.
Really?
If anyone visits Taiwan.
The be-all and the end-all of this is that when you watched from day one, when it was speculated that Nancy Pelosi was going to visit,
Yeah.
we watched political analysts, we watched people talk about best worst-case scenario.
Yeah.
In the end, because it's over now, right? The ramifications stuff will continue for a long time. We'll keep commenting on them. But the immediate kind of act is done, right?
Yeah.
And I can safely say this was the worst case scenario that could have ever happened for the Chinese government.
Yeah.
It couldn't have gone worse than this.
Correct.
Everything went wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's incredible to watch.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we had a correspondent on the ground. In
Yeah, so we
Taiwan.
thought we'd show you guys over here. So he went up to
就站好后面哈，帮忙那个
yeah Taipei.
一起哈，我们一起战斗哈。
要巩固台湾了。
要巩固台湾啊，要护佑台湾，要靠大家，要靠大家。
So these are the bad guys or the good guys over here?
Bad guys.
These are the bad
This is the
guys.
separatist party. Remember
Okay.
the 20,000
Oh yeah,
strong.
there's the leader over there.
So
Let's see.
so this guy,
You want to tell us a little bit
yeah,
about
it's
him?
pretty fascinating actually.
Okay.
Actually, just pull up the next slide and we'll be able to see. You can see his face without a mask. This is our correspondent took that photo, by the
Yeah.
way.
Cool.
He snuck right in there.
You
This is
saw it here first,
Chang An
guys.
Lo.
Yeah.
And he's fascinating because, I mean, you have the main parties in Taiwan. You have the KMT, which is the Kuomintang. They're more like status quo.
Right.
We don't want to piss off China. We want to still be an independent nation.
Yeah.
Maybe someday we'll unify, but not under the CCP.
Yes.
Right. Then you have the DPP, Tsai Ing-wen, the woman that you saw, the democratically elected Tsai Ing-wen. They are more pro-independence. We don't want anything to do with China. We don't need unification because we're our own country already.
Yeah.
So shut up, right?
Yeah.
She was democratically elected overwhelmingly.
Yes.
So the majority of Taiwanese people like her politics and want to be independent from China. Me too. I would support the DPP.
Correct.
Then you have fringe. You have other parties for sure. You have one more that's more pro-China, but still not pro-CCP. But this is like at the bottom fringes, right? Yeah. And I find this fascinating because they like to act like they're way bigger than they are. Again,
of course.
Self-declared as 20,000, right? The leader here, the guy that we took a picture, that we had his picture taken, right?
Yeah.
He's a Taiwanese Chinese ultranationalist, organized crime figure, entrepreneur, and politician. He's supportive of Chinese unification, having founded the Chinese Unification Promotion
Isn't
Party.
it interesting how all these people connected to the Chinese government are criminals?
Yeah, actually, I want to read this.
Okay,
And
go for
forgive
it.
me for reading Wikipedia, but it's in English, and I don't have to read the translate Chinese stuff. But it's he was a reputed former leader of the Bamboo Union crime brotherhood. That's the triads, right?
Right.
So he was a leader of a triads, right?
So mafia.
Yes. And he fled to Taiwan in 1996 after being placed on a wanted list in Taipei.
No, he fled to China, didn't he?
Sorry. He
fled
Taiwan.
Taiwan.
After being put on a list in Taipei for the involvement in organized crime. And so he ran away from Taiwan, a free country.
Yeah, to China.
Because he was a gangster,
criminal.
a criminal, right? So he goes and he runs away to mainland China. He goes to Shenzhen, where he used to live, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he is credited with giving the Bamboo Union, so the triads, a political mission and a touch of romantic character, which made it more appealing to gang members and rival criminal gangs. During his time in China, so keep in mind, this Taiwanese guy's in China, right?
Yeah.
He's originally from mainland China, by the way.
Oh, he's originally from mainland
During
China?
his time in China, the Chinese Unity Promotion Party was founded in 2004. So he went to mainland China, communist China, and formed a communist political party to bring back to Taiwan while he was in exile in mainland China. That's fascinating. He made his own grassroots political organization in promotion of the CCP.
This criminal.
Yes. And he then started a Taiwan-based branch of the party in 2005. So he officially got the party recognized in mainland China by the Chinese government. So he had the Chinese government handed him the okay to form his own political party because it was in support of unification with China.
That's something they want, obviously.
He returned to Taiwan in 2013 and was arrested by Taiwanese police and released on bail. Ma Ying-jeou is the previous president, received criticism for his lax treatment of Chang. So after that, I'll just make this a summed up version.
Yeah.
He used the CCP party that he created in Taiwan to form a branch there, and then started running for office and political power. So a triad, gangster criminal, is running around Taiwan on behalf of the CCP with a political party he formed in mainland China under the guise of having his own independent.
So that's what you see when you see that little crowd of protesters.
That's these guys.
That's who they are.
Yeah, just wanted some context because that's going around everywhere.
Please, again, you must pay attention to the fact that it's a very small crowd.
Yeah, it's tiny.
Not huge. It's not the will of the people. It's a small fringe party.
Right.
Okay.
There's that guy's wearing a Tibetan flag, which I
love. Republic of Taiwan welcomes U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. You've got crowds that are equal size and bigger who welcome.
Well, you have to understand this. The Unification Party was absolutely, positively told by Beijing to go out there and force. Right. That's their. I mean, I'm shocked that national security in Taiwan even allows them to exist.
Yeah.
Because that's like a huge liability.
I mean, at the same time, it just proves that it's an open democracy.
It is.
So, that's what separates them from mainland China. So we've reached the end of the soft power. Don't worry, we've got a lot to come up. We've got our Wu Mao corner and we've got various things. But first, we wanted to talk to you about a book that a subscriber of ours has made, and it's called Scams for Grams.
That's right.
So basically what this is it's something to forewarn your elder grandparents or maybe your parents and give them a couple of hints on how to deal with scams these days, as scams are getting more and more sophisticated
On the internet.
yeah. So What do you got to say about it?
So if you're worried about your more senior relatives or less familiar with technology, then Scams for Grams, the book, is a great gift and a must-have, with a keen focus on protection and avoidance as a defense mechanism. It requires little to no familiarity with tech to understand, dealing with everyday activities that, when not thought through, can leave you exposed to cyber criminals. All of the tips provided can immediately be enacted in your life. Pick up a copy today and ensure that you and your loved ones are safe. Scams for Grams focuses on various scams frequently used in the USA and, to some extent, the rest of the world. The target readers for the books are grandparents in the USA, but people internationally can learn from the types of scams in this book as well.
I mean, I'm just looking at some of the headlines in here: fake job opportunities, rental fraud, the most common warning signs of an advanced fee loan scam. Chapter 2, tech support and fake virus scams. You know, it's something that I would say that people of our generation are very easy at spotting and dealing with, but slightly older people do get caught out with these things.
And you don't have to be the guy on the phone be like, no.
Hey, I mean, why not just
give them the book?
Give this to your parents or your grandparents. You can, you know, it's a nice little gift to give them some light reading.
It is. That's good stuff too. I read through it. It seems very helpful, and I would put my name behind it.
So link in the description, right?
Yep, and a pinned comment as well. You can go to his website directly to buy it, or you can go to the Amazon link if that's more convenient for you.
Yeah, I think it's a good little gift.
Absolutely, we sign off on it for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of these. Honestly, there's quite a lot of the scams that would catch you out. I get a lot of calls and stuff, and it's something that you get in America a lot more.
Yeah.
I've found than wherever else.
For sure.
Yeah. Anyway,
Scams
so check
for
it
Grams.
out. Yeah. Cool, guys. So it's time for us to move on. We're going to go to the Wumao corner, where we talk about the despicable haters and the nonsense that they get up to. And we're going to start out with something which regards the Uyghurs in Xinjiang. For those of you who don't know about that, you should know about that.
Well, if you don't, the Uyghurs are an ethnic minority in China. China's put over 1 million of them in concentration camps to delete their culture, language, history, and religion, to force sterilize them and dwindle their population until they are a non-issue for the Han majority.
Yeah, it's really awful stuff, which we've covered in depth and we will continue to cover on this show. The thing is, one of the Uyghur rights activists who escaped put out a tweet to say what his life was like in camp. He said, "My life in the camp every morning started like that, 6:30 Urumqi time. It equals 8:30 Beijing time. Even you are detained in Urumqi, the rule made by Beijing. You had to follow, sit that way, study communist ideology and Xi's Chinese dream for about 12 hours without rest."
So this is just one thing that they do in the re-education camps. Shave your head, shave your beard.
Yeah.
Sometimes they forced Muslims to eat pork and drink alcohol.
Yeah.
They also forced them to study, like basically denounce the Quran, and then in place study Xi Jinping thought.
Just imagine having to sit for 12 hours a day reading communist doctrine.
From Xi Jinping.
And Xi Jinping's thought.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a lot
His
of
one
deep thought. It'll be like, I like pork. Yeah, read that over and over and over again.
I know why he forced them to eat pork now.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, one of the despicable shills had to come in here and this is a Wumao here, but a young Wumao, as we call them, young Guizi, it means like it's a derogatory term.
It's a racist name for white.
Yeah, young Guizi, which means foreign devil.
Yeah.
So young Wumao means like a foreign 50 cent.
Yeah.
Okay, and this particular little communist
Is
leprechaun.
that my gold?
What the hell are you?
I'm a leprechaun, me dear. Here.
He came in with his little chirping in here saying, "Prison, you went to prison, not a camp. Prison, because you broke the laws. Teaching Uyghur language is not illegal."
I just thought this was super gross, and it shows you the character of people that defend and work for the Chinese government.
Correct.
That if you're a Westerner with Western ideals and you believe in democracy and you believe in freedom, and for me personally, I believe anyone can believe whatever they want. I support any person that wants to follow any religion.
Sure.
I think that if you grow up in a place like this, you don't have an excuse to promote genocide and then go after a victim of said genocide.
Yeah.
And then tell them what they went through wasn't real.
I mean, this guy is talking about some of the horrors that he survived in a re-education camp, concentration camp, whatever you want to call it, but it was awful. And he's being told...
He fled and he got
Yeah,
out.
he managed to escape. Oh, well, after he was released, he escaped.
Yeah.
And you've got the foreign shill trying to tell him, shut up, you were in prison because you're a criminal. It's disgusting.
I mean, we've seen from the Xinjiang police leak, the police file leak, thousands and thousands of people that went to these camps with mugshots. The reasons for detention were in there, and the vast majority of them were for things that weren't illegal.
No.
They were for talking about their religious studies.
Listening to a religious podcast.
Listening to a religious podcast, using a VPN.
Yes.
Which Chinese officials use every day to go run their freaking mouth on Twitter.
Yeah.
Right. And I always like to throw this out. A VPN is a tool that you use to go over the Great Firewall of China. So China blocks about 70% of the internet.
Yeah, and more than that these days.
Yeah,
even.
more. So you need to use a tool to do that. Use a VPN. And if you're a Chinese citizen, it's illegal, but they'll usually not go after single cases of people using VPNs.
Yeah.
If you're a Uyghur in Xinjiang, Western China, you are a second-degree terrorist if you use a VPN.
Yeah.
And they call it, they're throwing people in jail, even kids,
Yeah.
as young as 14 years old, for using a VPN to use chat apps to talk to people.
Yeah.
That people were going into concentration camps for that.
Yeah.
Now, they're doing it now.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, we've got some more nonsense that's been going on with the haters. If you take a look here, this whole thing erupted in China because a member of what would you call them, a pop band, I guess?
Yeah, girl group.
Yeah, girl group called SHE, very famous Taiwanese girl band, girl group.
I have a little bit of trivia. I high-fived one of the members in Taipei.
That's awesome.
Along with about 1 billion other people.
Yeah, when I first got to China in 2006, they were mad popular. Everybody was listening to them. It was everywhere.
Yeah, they were really popular, especially when I was in Taiwan at the time.
Yeah.
If you're in the rest of the world, you'll have absolutely no idea who they are.
Maybe.
Probably not.
Yeah. Anyway, one of the members of SHE posted like an Instagram story or whatever it was, or a Weibo post or something of her eating spaghetti, right?
Yeah.
And the Chinese internet attacked her as if she was trying to support Pelosi because Pelosi's Italian or something.
Yeah, it says, this is from International FCCP, by the way. Amazing account on Twitter, or not on Twitter, on
Reddit?
Instagram.
Oh, Instagram. Okay.
Fantastic account. They do these they make these graphics about like hot button issues that the CCP is screwing up.
Cool, give them a follow. I haven't heard about them.
They're awesome. I can endorse them.
Yeah.
It says Taiwanese singer attacked because she had some spaghetti. Taiwanese singer Hebe Tian posted a picture of her having spaghetti on the day that Pelosi visited Taiwan. Chinese netizens then accused her of being pro-Taiwan independence. Reason? Spaghetti is called Italian noodle, 意大利面, right?
Yeah,
Italian noodle in Chinese. And Chinese netizens interpreted this as supporting the visit of Pelosi, who has Italian heritage.
Yeah.
Her post was then deleted from Instagram. So they actually got her to delete the post.
Yeah, that's the problem. You should never kowtow to these people. You know, when they go after you like this, the worst thing you can do is delete it, because then they'll say, see?
But the thing is, like, they don't have, you think she has control over her
No,
social
no, it's
media?
her,
She's
her
gonna have an
manager.
agent,
Her agent's probably like, this is bad for business or whatever. But yeah, it's pathetic. It's really, really pathetic how
just
insecure they are.
Yeah.
We got another derucci sighting.
I'm going to eat spaghetti,
Yeah.
by the way.
Oh, good idea. But this is not Wu Mao Corner. This should be for like what? International?
I wanted to say this. I don't even know where to put this anymore. But whenever there's a derucci sighting, you can expect to see it. Today's derucci sighting comes from Richmond, BC, in Western Canada.
Okay.
And we have a derucci here, mattress store. If you guys don't know, he is the king of the white monkeys. Unfortunately dead. Mm-hmm. Rest in peace, derucci. We love you. Mm-hmm. He is the face of a fake OEM mattress company from Dongguan.
Yes.
It is not a foreign Italian brand.
No, it's not luxury.
It's not
they say
luxury
furniture and mattresses.
It is not.
No, not luxury.
At least they started putting Chinese on their signs, by the way.
Yeah.
Because I think they realize they're only going to get Chinese customers from mainland China that know the brand.
Probably.
Right.
They're like,
Anyway,
oh, yeah.
Great derucci sighting.
Are we going to move on to our next segment?
Yeah.
Which is Worldview? Or do you want to talk about Shaban Ho first?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. For those of you who don't know, we also have a Monday show, which is a Patron exclusive show. And we thought we'd just show you what it's all about, because we absolutely love doing it. We love having you there. So we thought
so fun.
It's so much fun. So we thought we'd just show you a little clip, and you can join it anytime you like. And by the way, if you join it, you can watch our we're like
double vision.
Inception. Yeah. If you join it, you can watch all the past episodes as well. There will be links in the description. Anyway, we'll show you a quick little teaser, and then we'll get on with the show. To this, guys. This is important.
This is crazy.
This is called the 8 treasures, right? I'd rather say it's more like the 8 trashes.
Yeah, the 8 treasures.
I'm gonna put it in the grass. That looks very safe to me. Awful. Eating your dad's shit with an anxious heart.
This guy was a fat scumbag.
Very good, good, good. I've had way worse.
It was okay.
Yeah. What?
Oh,
It's
and
got
there's
cashew
some-
nuts.
Cashews.
That's my helmet.
One of the worst people I've ever met in my life.
You'd think that this would look great from the sky, but it doesn't actually.
They really, really do not like when foreigners marry Chinese people.
They don't. Yeah. It's a chore. I just ate my dad's shit. Shady women trying to entice you with sex and drugs and things.
I've seen assault,
It tastes like dirt.
death,
Pig vagina.
robbery,
I've had way worse.
drugs.
Thought it was awful.
My wife had to throw a freaking flower pot on a man until he fell off the building. I got drugged in a freaking bar.
Gross, disgusting deaths,
like
gore.
gore.
How do you say hello in
Yes.
Manchurian? There's the shit in his hand.
I think couldn't say one thing. Oh, God.
And so at the end of the day, we didn't learn how to say hello in Manchurian. Yeah, we'll
We
get into
saw
that later.
that.
Yeah, we saw the blood everywhere. Shaban Ho is all about being this kind of little private club that's, interactive. What a shitty story, to be honest.
Shitty
Yeah,
story.
it really
Clearly
is.
a shitty story.
So, yeah, thank you for checking that out. If you're interested, please go. Links are in the description. It's so much fun.
Patreon.com/ADV podcast.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And it's different to our main show here where we just, talk about China. We usually take a little topic and show you some pictures and stuff that you've never seen before from our past and talk about it and talk about a thing. Anyway, we'll see all the Shaban Hoers.
By the
on
way,
Monday.
I just want to say each topic has a topic. It's not just like, here, we're going to talk shit for
No,
an
sure.
hour.
I mean, it's a proper show.
So we've done worst Western food we've had in China, which, by the way, you can go see even if you're not live. You can all of the episodes are up there. We did, what did we just do? We told the
fake
shit
Manchurian.
Story, the fake Manchurian. We did real crime statistics of China.
Yes.
We reviewed real crime statistics.
Yeah.
Really good stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get back on with the show. We're going to move on to Worldview, where we talk about what's happening in China, except more about what's going on in the world, really.
Yeah.
And so what do we have going on in the world?
So China organized some protests in the U.S.
Oh,
for
nice.
Pelosi's visit, which I think is foreign interference, by the
It
way.
is, absolutely.
Imagine if the U.S. government staged a protest in mainland China.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the absolute shit show?
It's not possible.
it
You
would just
can't,
not- no.
even local Chinese people can't organize a protest. So.
So it says, this is Chinese state media, by the
Mm-hmm.
way. It says around 100 anti-war activists and Chinese Americans protested outside the federal building in San Francisco on Monday, urging U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to cancel a possible trip on the island of Taiwan, the San Francisco Standard reported. So I actually did a little research, and I was like, there's not a huge group of people
Also,
in the U.S.
look at those pictures. They say around 100. It looks like about 20.
Looks maybe like 10.
Yeah, maybe less.
But listen,
Yeah.
I was too skeptical about even there being a subset of people that would have the drive and motivation to go protest something like this, something that only mainland China cares about.
Yeah.
No, let's just say only the government and mainland Chinese government cares about.
Sure.
Who's going to be willing to go do this, right? So I looked into it. And a good chunk of the people that were there were on behalf of a group called Code Pink. So I looked into this group, right?
Okay.
And it's supposed to be a feminist, not a feminist, like a pro-women's organization, women's rights organization.
Oh, what do we know? Here we've got Code Pink
So
with
if you
Li Jingjing.
If you look at this, I was like, oh, now this makes sense.
Sure.
So it's an American women's rights group, which I would support.
Sure.
Very much pro women's rights, especially something that we fought for very hard on this show, women's rights in China.
Yeah.
Something that they don't have in China, right? So I thought it was very weird to see an American pro-women's rights group at this protesting on behalf of the Chinese government.
Yeah.
So you dig around. This on the left is Li Jingjing. She is Chinese state media.
Yes.
She did an interview with one of the leaders of Code Pink, Women for Peace, right? So I go to their website, right?
Yeah. What do you find?
Code Pink, stop the $750 million dollars of weapons. Stop the U.S. $750 million arms sale to Taiwan. We need cooperation, not conflict. So what it is it's a Chinese government mouthpiece operating on behalf of the Chinise government on U.S. soil.
Under the guise of being a women's
under the
rights
guise of being an
organization.
American women's rights for peace.
Well,
Insane.
well,
There's another
well.
slide there from
Okay.
the website.
By the way,
it's so easy to pick apart.
yeah. of course, by the way, this obviously happened before the visit because they were trying to discourage, along with all the bluster and all the
Correct.
PLA army footage and all that crap. They got this surrogate. It's obviously some kind of lobbying group or something that they've made up here. It's some nonsense. What else is on there?
Nancy Pelosi canceled the Taiwan trip. Nancy Pelosi canceled that, and they got a
aren't they?
letter
Wait,
writing campaign.
isn't it a woman's rights?
Yeah.
Shouldn't they be celebrating a powerful
This is a woman
woman?
in power. I'm not even being facetious.
Yeah.
That's something I support as well.
Someone
Why
standing up for their rights and not being bullied.
Yeah. So you're sticking up for the male-run Chinese government, one of the most chauvinistic organizations in the world.
Yes.
That is completely anti-women's rights and has shown that time and time again.
Yeah.
To stand up against a woman that supports women's rights.
Yes.
To visit Taiwan, a country that has one of the
female
president and one of the best female rights track records in the world.
Yeah.
Make that mental logic come together in your head and you will see what happens.
Yes. Nothing.
This is the post I found to organize the people that go to San Francisco for the protest.
So what does it say exactly?
So it says, it says, Nancy Pelosi is in flaming potential war with China with her planned official visit to Taiwan. Join Pivot to Peace, Answer Coalition, Code Pink, Veterans for Peace, China People's Friendship Association, by the way, a group we know all too well.
Yes.
And the leaders of the Chinese American community. And they like to do this. The vast majority of Chinese Americans that I know absolutely do not support the Chinese government.
Correct.
And this, to me, is incredibly damaging to Chinese people's reputation in the U.S.
Correct.
To conflate them with this.
Yeah, how dare they?
Monday, blah, 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 in front of Nancy Pelosi's office at the San Francisco Federal Building to demand that she stop her reckless action to cancel her trip immediately and instead focus on the real challenges of inflation, climate crisis, economic distress facing the American people. You see how they do that?
Yeah, twist it around like that. Oh, mind your own business, America. You've got your own problems.
Yeah. So it's really scary to me that there are grassroots groups that are not grassroots.
I think that we need to look very closely at this Code Pink organization.
Yeah.
And all of the
Amongst
organizations
amongst many.
that are being mentioned here.
And I would love to see a response from Chinese Americans because, like I said, the vast majority, we have a massive amount of Chinese American friends in the U.S.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd say it makes up the biggest demographic group of friends we have.
Yes.
Simply because we have a lot in common. A lot of them have been to China.
Yeah.
We lived in China. It's a melding of two cultures.
Yes.
Right? They absolutely are some of the most vocal people against the Chinese government. You want to go to an anti-CCP protest, 90% of the people there are Chinese Americans.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
It is bullshit.
It's a lie.
They're co-opting the Chinese Friendship Association, which is just the Chinese government.
Yeah.
It's like all of the bloody staff that you find at the Chinese embassy in here and all the Confucius Institutes and all the government plants.
Yes.
And all the people that are their subjugates, whatever, the people that are underneath them. They have to go to these things because it's something they have to do as part of their job.
Yes.
All right? All this nonsense tied to this fake women's rights thing.
AstroTurfing, fake grassroots.
Yes, there we go. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
You get the idea. So it was interesting. I don't really even care about this Code Pink. What I thought was interesting was it took me 2 minutes to take apart that protest, see that it wasn't even 100 people, and then find out who actually was behind it.
So it's
it was
just
the Chinese government.
the Chinese government organized that protest as part of their massive campaign to try and dissuade Pelosi to go.
Why is the Chinese government allowed to operate on American soil to go stage a protest of a government official in the U.S.? How off balance are we here?
Yeah, because no one's allowed to do anything in China.
No, I would like to assume that some sort of investigation would go into a protest like that because of the forces behind it.
Yeah.
It's a foreign power
Yeah.
protesting a government official on sovereign U.S. soil.
No, well, they know
It's wrong.
They know how to use the system here.
Yeah.
They abuse trust. That's one of the biggest wins for the Chinese government is that the Western world is far too trusting, always has been. Chinese government says, don't worry, we'll reduce carbon emissions. Meanwhile, they increase it. And when they're asked about it, they're like, oh, don't worry, we'll do it. Just, and everyone's like, okay, we trust you. And then they screw it up. Oh, don't worry, we won't destroy the ocean life. That's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, we won't militarize those fake islands we're building in the South China Sea. Everyone's like, okay. Next minute, there's airstrips and missiles and whatever else on these islands. And people are like, but you said you wouldn't. They're like, well, this is our sovereign territory, so we're just going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
They just lie, and everybody just buys it all the time. You know
what? I'd like to do a follow-up on this if we can get any more information. about this protest because I
Yeah.
actually think it might lead to something else.
I think we got to find out who went to that protest.
I'm
not about
not names and stuff.
No, I'm saying who went to that protest as far as organizations.
Which organizations were there? Because I saw the ones that were claimed on there.
Yeah.
What I'd be interested in is if we do a follow-up, try to contact us like maybe on DM on Twitter or something. If you know any more details about that, because I really think there's probably something fishy going on.
Absolutely something fishy going on there.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Cool. Yeah. So I guess that's really it. It's time for our Yumcha, which of course is our Q&A section of the show. This is where we get to relax. I get to finally loosen the tie. We get to talk about, answer your super chats, just talk about random stuff, have some fun. You get to watch this now live. You get to watch it over the weekend. Monday, we cut it out of the show, but you can still go and watch it if you're a patron of any level.
By the way, according to Wikipedia, Code Pink supports Iran's missile development. So women for peace.
What in the actual F?
So I think it's probably a tanky organization.
It's an absolutely, it's some kind of like a lobbyist think tank nonsense, tanky, pro, authoritarian, anti-Western type thing, from what it sounds like. Sure. Yep.
Okay, good. Let me...
So what do we got? What do we got?
Roman Ray says, I think that the whole recent situation with the Chinese missiles...
Yes, missiles.
...exercise in Taiwan and the naval incursion going on might be a distraction from geopolitical turmoil.